Hello everybody, welcome back, I'm MrRedClaw. Welcome back to some more World of Tanks. Now it has been a while once again, but hopefully now I have kind of like a schedule and a thought of how to make these videos quicker, and hopefully I should be able enough to at least get two out every single week. And today we are watching Point of View 3 playing in probably one of my favourite kind of low tier tanks. Or at least at one point it was, the AMX ELC BIS, or when I played it mostly, the ELC AMX. Of course, back, what was it, maybe 5 years ago now or so, maybe even 6 to be honest, this tank was just the best light tank tier for tier in the game. Now you could probably say, you know, the ELC even 90, there you go, maybe that's like the most pure good scouting light tank, but then you could also say something like the LT432 is a good light tank, but not really just pure up scouting, but also a bit of combat. But this, back in the day, was basically what it is now, but when I played it mostly, it had 440 hit points, a way bigger, more horsepower I think it was. I'm not really sure if they changed the engine or the ground resistances, but it was way faster back in the day when I played it. Slightly better DPM, and talking about the gun, instead of what is now 120 on the standard rounds, I'm pretty sure somewhere closer to like 150, if not even like more than that. I remember something between like 150 and 170 millimeters of pen, and on the premium rounds now it has 150, which is still absolutely brilliant for a tier 5 light tank, don't get me wrong, but I'm pretty sure back in the day it was somewhere closer to 200, if not even 220. So, you know, back in the day when this tank could face the tier 8s, as it's a tier 5 of course, but back then light tanks being matched up against basically being a tank of a tier higher, it basically got matched up as a tier 6, so it could meet those tier 8s. And well, if you loaded those APCR rounds, an IS-3 frontally, that was honestly kind of sometimes no problem if you aimed the shelling well. And you know, now 150, I'm not really even sure if that's going to get through the lower plate, and you're definitely not tall enough to go shoot kind of the top of the turret in this tank, as it's one of the smallest tanks in the game, as you can see over here. And as you can see, Point of View actually 3 marks of excellence on his AMX ELC BIS, like I do as well. The only 3rd mark tank I have, because I don't really go after it, and when I did, I just played worse than I would normally, because I know the pressure maybe of trying to actually do well. So I just play just to play, and if I do get marks of excellence, that's cool. But if not, then, you know, still having fun. So yes, I'm not going to go into how I got the 3 marks, because I've told the story about like 5 times over all of these videos now, but it was just really, really weird. But Point of View over here, as you can see, his team is up by a kill, and actually up by 600 hit points as well, but they have lost the eastern, the northern part of the map. They are going to slowly lose the eastern side as well if Point doesn't help this WZ131 GFT over here. But his team have won the south and are now pushing basically kind of like a mirror match of what the enemy team is doing, pushing into the enemy base on the western side of the map. A Point over here telling the WZ to fall back, and that he's going to spot for him, but it's just a little bit too late, as the Super Hellcat actually tracks Point over here, luckily only just tracking him and not doing damage, as even with the buffed hit points of 490 on this tank, you still don't want to be taking 240 round shots from any tank at any point of the game, because that's basically all you have. No armor, only like 7 tons of tank, so if someone even lightly taps you, they are going to do damage, and that's basically all you have. But of course, really, really good camo. I have, of course, a camouflage on this, and a camo crew, I'm pretty sure, and I have somewhere around, I think it's 30 or 40 camo on the move. And of course, when you're standing still, because that's the speciality of the light tanks, same camo whilst moving, then whilst you're, you know, moving around and stationary. Now what is Point going to do over here? Up to 1,000 hit points done, I guess, 1,000 damage, 1,300 damage done, but the enemies are capping with only 17 seconds left, as I'm pretty sure the Type T-34 actually decaps over there. So does Point of View over here, actually only using AP rounds, so I have to kind of give him credit here. Definitely a free-to-play player, or at least on this tank, as he isn't using food as well. I have bought, sold, rebought this tank so many times over the years because I play it, I want it to be just like it was in the old times, but then it's just nowhere there. I get bored of it, sell it. But now I have had it for 2 years, I think, without selling it now. You really have to have a good crew, and especially since the crew change next month that are hopefully not going to come, but I guess we're going to see. I mean, you only have 2 crew members over here, so they're already under a lot of pressure, especially, well, I guess both of them, especially the commander though, as I'm pretty sure he's like all of like the radio operator as well. So I have 2 female crew members in this tank, and that's still not enough to get all of the crew skills that you need. But if they add the crew 2.0 in the next kind of update, that is absolutely going to ruin this tank, as you are going to have at least like 10 crew skills each on the commander and the driver over here. That's just going to take like billions of experience in order to actually try and get something decent out of this. But I guess we'll see. Point of View getting spotted by the Tiger. I guess this tank does have good camo, but I guess the Tiger one is a tier 7 and maybe has a good crew himself. Or maybe Point of View just doesn't have that skilled of a crew and isn't using the low exhaust noise system, whatever that's called. As you can see, the AP not doing so well against the Tiger 1, especially when it's angled. The AP rounds, the APCR rounds, I think would have gone through the side over there at least, and maybe the lower plate. Back in the day, AP rounds would have absolutely gone through like butter all over the Tiger 1. Is the second shell going to go in even from the front? Look at this, you have to aim specifically where you want to go, and even on the lower plate when it's not angled, it's only a 50-50 if Point is going to get go through and pen or not. The Tiger 1 putting in an APCR round shot, halving the hit points of the ELC AMX, and that's what you really have to watch out for. Back when it had 440 hit points, was it? No, I think it was actually 400. The Chaffee and the Leopard, I'm pretty sure, had 440. This had 400. The Chaffee, I'm pretty sure, had 420. Then the Leopard had 440, if I remember correctly. But this having 400, it could get one shot by, you know, 122mm caliber guns, which was scary. You know, all of the, your ISIS, SC-152, and all of that stuff, they could one-shot you about 50% of the time. So that was quite scary back in the day. But then when they added the tier 10 light tanks, I'm pretty sure they nerfed this tank's HP down to 340, I think it was. So that was just absolutely like tragic. When I remember when they first changed it, and I played this tank a couple of times, that's when I sold it for the first time, because I was like, this is absolutely terrible. Now they've absolutely massacred this tank, because even tanks that do like, you know, 320 alpha damage, they are going to one shot you about like, you know, 30-40% of the time as well. And well, you can't really play that if this tank isn't just like absolutely ultra sneaky, which I'm pretty sure they did buff the camo after the changes as well. So, you know, definitely this tank is nowhere near as good. It isn't even half as good as it was what it used to be back in the day. But you can still have fun. You can still have this really close matches where being in the AMX ELC base is going to give you that advantage over any other light tank at tier 5 because of the gun, because of the smallness of the tank, because of the camo, the decent view range. I'm not really sure what it is exactly, but as you can see, even without food, Point of View has at least at 445 meters of view range. Not really sure what equipment he's using, but it's enough to get the job done at these lower tiers, as can only, you know, meet tier 7's max. So you know, most of the time you're going to be fine, even with about 4.5 meters of view range. The WZ moves in to try and take out the heavy tank number 6 over there, as the SU hasn't been spotted in quite some time. 5 kills for that Russian tier 7 tank destroyer, so Point has to really watch out, because even if that tank rams him slightly, he's going to die over here. As does he get spotted by a heavy tank over there? No, he doesn't. It's such a sneaky tank, so low profile, that over there, no matter what other tank you go into, maybe just an ELC even 90 could sneak past over there. But a Chaffee, a Leopard, I'm pretty sure you would have gotten spotted over there. But this tank just being so small, I'm pretty sure it's like 1.40 m tall, if I'm not mistaken. If I did, I'm pretty sure I saw like a picture once, like a blueprint or something like that. It is quite tiny. That's why it only has 2 crew members, I guess, because he wouldn't fit anymore. It's already probably packed as it is. Where's this SU? 1,800 damage done, 1,300 spotting. Hasn't really done any much more spotting than he did earlier on in the game when he was in the middle of the map. But there's still damage to be done. The SU on about 60% of his hit points left, so that is going to be a couple of shots into the tank in order to actually take him out before, you know, Point of View either wins or loses, as the WZ on Point's team, only on 90 hit points, spots the SU. What is Point going to do? He goes towards the cap circle. Does he want to cap? I don't really think that's the right thing to do. I think you have to absolutely make a beeline straight towards the WZ and help him out as soon as possible, because, you know, you're better on 2-on-1 than 1-on-1, especially against a tank destroyer 2 tiers higher than you, with you know, only AP rounds in this tank. Absolutely probably no chance of going through the front, just maybe the lower plate, but, you know, you're not going to stop an aim, especially with this gun over here. And that's talking about the guns. Of course, the other change they did when they added the tier 10s, they of course made the 75, both 75mm guns fully traversable, which was the worst thing, especially the stock one. That was the worst thing that was on this tank. I think the stock is actually a 57, I'm not really sure. But that was the worst experience, playing the AMX ELC BIS, or the ELC AMX tank stock, back probably 7 or 8 years ago, with probably 50% crew back then, to be honest, because I had no premium rounds, no premium tanks, or premium time, or any of that stuff. So probably a 55, maybe a 75% crew, and fully stock. I'm pretty sure I first went for the tracks and the engine because it was just so slow, fully stock. Then the gun. The first gun was absolutely tragic. The 75 was bearable, but it being, you know, locked to that kind of like 30-degree aiming window, it definitely wasn't good compared to what it is now. The 90 still being locked at around 30 degrees, but the 75 and the other 75 and 57, I can't really remember off the top of my head, being, of course, fully traversable, makes it a lot better, and you can choose which gun you want to play with, the 90 or the 75. I personally have the 90 on the tank because that's just kind of the specialty of this tank, that 240 damage. The 75 is fun, I played with it, and it definitely does help, as Point gets really lucky over there that the SU is really inaccurate. He just fully turned in order to engage Point, tracks him, and then misses his follow-up shell. As the WZ comes in, probably is going to get taken out, but the SU, under pressure of here, misses his shell. Is he going to miss the other one, or is he going to take out the SU? The WZ even, he takes him out. So yes, I played with the 75 a bit, but might be fully traversable, but it wasn't just my cup of tea. Definitely prefer the 90, and because of the bug for the last kind of month or so on what replays, and with the replays on the kind of in World of Tanks, it actually bugged and you actually couldn't see the post-game stats. So basically all I have to say for this game is that Point of View did 2,183 damage with 1,302 spotting, 5 kills. can't really tell how much experience he did because it just basically showed as if you exited the replay early and basically everything is at 0. But for now, that is good. So hope you guys enjoyed. Like, share, subscribe. See you guys next time. Bye-bye.